Bro.
We're rolling.
What's up? It's Sammy, the Spanish guy Gavar, and new TNT champion. And you, yes, you, right now are listening to the
Bob Culture Podcast.
Bob Culture Podcast.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Nothing between the lines of the page or at a time. Forgiveness is for angels with this angel fell out of line. That's it, no second chance or redemption can be found. 'Cause you can't run the devil and the devil is hunting you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special One Above All episode of the BCP. Super excited to welcome back ahead of his appearance at Project Codename Wrestling presents Genesis this Saturday. It's going to be March 5th in Union, New Jersey. Tickets are still available. Shameless promo. Please welcome back into the show. He is a former multiple-time tag team champion everywhere he goes. Let's be real. This guy, no stranger to gold around the waist, both shoulders. You've seen the pictures. He's got like 4 belts at the same time. King Midas over here. He's a former IWA heavyweight champion. Please welcome back to the show our good friend, one above all, Mr. Anthony Gangone. Welcome in, sir. How are you, bro?
I'm doing well. Thank you for that introduction. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Dude, no, I appreciate you coming back on. You know, right now we're just kind of talking to everybody, seeing where everyone's at, man. And you're someone I told you off air that I really just wanted to catch up with. I love the stuff that you've been doing in Titan. I can't wait to talk about that in a little bit. Shameless promo. But let's not bury the lead here. Again, guys, this Saturday, Project Codename Wrestling presents Genesis in Union, New Jersey. Come out, support. It's going to be a great show. Mr. Gangone putting out some great promos. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Taking on Sebastian Cage. I don't think someone you're a stranger to. We've seen him a lot here in the Northeast. This is the backstage interviewer going off of me right now. Your thoughts going into that one, sir?
Well, I was a late addition to the project,
Okay.
and maybe 3 weeks ago, and then shortly after that, I saw my opponent, and it was Sebastian Cage, who I've only wrestled one time in a singles match. And I wrestled him also in a multi-person match as well. And he has a lot of talent. I'm not here to be like the vet. Oh, he has a lot of talent and all that. But Sebastian is a legitimately great talent. Every time you see him in the ring, he gets crowd reactions. Even if no one knows who he is at that point, by the end of the match, he always gets crowd reactions. And I noticed that he's hanging out with Sosa and Santos, and it's just like, he's better than that, and he's not even really getting paid enough to be hanging around with that crew. So I noticed that he said he's not really worried about me, which is the last thing you want to do with me is piss me off.
Facts.
I love proving people wrong. It's I'm not necessarily a confrontational person, but if you give me a reason, I'll make sure to end it. So in Sebastian's case, I have to teach him a lesson that day, never to underestimate me. And if you do, you're going to get burned for it.
Absolutely, man. And very well said. You always go the extra mile in your promos. I believe it was called A Look to the Past that I just watched a little while ago, man. The production value, first of all, really going more than the extra mile. I love the stuff that you do for Titan, man. I think there's a lot of great storytelling there, but this is like really deep. It's very theatric. Hashtag wrestling fashion, looking sharp in that suit. Tell us a little bit about what went into that promo. There's a lot of mystery. Even earlier today, you kind of posted something with just like the mask on the seat. Like, what can you give us from that, man? That's very interesting.
Well, the actual production of it is from Hashtag Dope.
Okay.
And they do a great job. And I think they do most of the promos and production at the project. But basically what I was trying to let people know about and let my driver know about is that throughout the years, I've kind of been the one above all. And that's something where once you're in the ring with me, you'll realize that I'm not like everybody else. I'm above them all. But initially, when I first started wearing the mask, it was a mask that everyone would wear within my group. And then later on, I kind of just grew it into being the main leader of it. And maybe I lost myself in that. Maybe I lost being above everyone when I should have been down with the people, and that's kind of what my mindset is when it comes to this. I feel like when you gain some sort of success, you kind of lose that hunger as you go up the ladder. And I kind of feel like possibly that may have happened. And I feel like I've never really shown the true full potential of who I am. I've shown glimpses, but I've never truly captured that. And that's kind of what I've been striving for. And this match is the perfect reason to do it.
I love this. And I love that you said this. I like this guy a lot. This is why I wanted you here, man, because I always pay attention. And let's be real, in this business, I've seen a lot of people succeed that have gotten to that professional level during a pandemic, no less. It's crazy. But I always pay attention to how people handle success in a business where, let's be real, the spotlight is literally on you guys the whole time. You have your own entrances. You are booed. You are applauded. Like, I get it. It's almost like a catch-22 in a way. But I love that you're cognizant of that. And you're always kind of going the extra mile. I think you even said it yourself. You're not like everyone else. And I see that not only in your promos, but in your moveset. I got to start here. Dreams by the Waterfall. We talked a little bit about it last time. Even though, like you're usually like the bad guy pulling back the curtain a little bit. We always get a pop for me and David Adams, Dreams by the Waterfall. It's such an innovative move, kind of like almost like a torture rack variation onto the knee, man. And again, I'm outside the ring. I don't know what I'm talking about. How did you come up with that, man? And why that move? Because I think it's so different and it's so extra mile, like everything that you do.
Well, it took me a long time to find the right finisher for myself. And when it took years to find the right finisher. And I always kind of had this idea of taking the water slide maneuver that Cesaro used to do back when he was in Chikara and kind of use it in a way with the GTS. So eventually I finally did it. And the first match I did it, the person actually kicked out. It was at Limitless Wrestling against Connor Murphy. Yes. And but it got such a reaction and I was so close to winning that I thought maybe if I fine tune this, that it could be something that I end people with. And ever since then, not a single person has kicked out of it. It's been like 4 or 5 years at this point. Every time I hit it, my knee goes right into the person's face and it puts them to sleep. Some people call me Dr. Sleep. So
I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my creative aspect when it comes to that. And I'm always I get bored with myself and I try to introduce new things, whether it's something that I put my own spin on or something that I haven't used before. But I don't want the audience to be bored and I don't want to be bored myself. So that's kind of where it all comes from.
And dude, and that's why you're always amazing to watch. That match with Arcadia, phenomenal at Titan, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, man. But you mentioned Cesaro, man, obviously recently, hopefully available to take bookings everywhere. The thing I do love about, I always look for the silver linings and things, is there is opportunity right now. A lot of you guys work in the Northeast here can work with a lot of the national talent, even more so than usual. It's very cool to see. We always joke, what's Cesaro doing in the Impact Zone? But like, is that someone you'd want to work with, like Cesaro, or have you already?
I know by the time I joined wrestling, he was already signed to WWE. But yeah, I mean, that's, I'd love to face anybody. But I mean, Cesaro, speaking about someone that always changes it up, he's someone that always changes it up. And it's, I admire that, especially when you get to that level where you're on TV for, almost 10 years now for him. And for him to constantly change up his moveset and introduce new things, I think that that's something to be admired. Because not to say that people, I don't want, lazy is not the right word, but, people come to see their greatest hits,
Yes.
But Cesaro always takes that chance in trying to see if he can create a new hit with certain things.
Dude, I love the way your mind works, and I love that you said that. I'm aging myself, but I remember seeing him at a like ice hockey rink in Edison, an ROH show. He did the no-handed, was a Claudio Castagnoli, I think at the time.
Yes,
Did the no-hand airplane spin. I was waiting for him to bust. Oh, so good, dude.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to bust it out on TV. He did it at the WrestleMania where no one was in the crowd, obviously during the lockdown, but we still popped for it. But he's amazing. I always put this over on commentary because I think it's a huge deal, man. And you fought a lot of these guys. Let's be real. You beat a lot of them. The dub over Cody Rhodes. I always bring that up, man. You have done so much. Who would you want to work with on that national level? And you have probably worked with a lot of them already, beat a couple of them already. Who would you want to work on that national level that you haven't yet, because there is opportunity? And then also on the indie level, because I'm sure there's someone that you've been like circling or crossing paths with that you just haven't been able to face off with one-on-one yet.
Yeah, anytime I get these questions, I'm not like super keen on pinpointing one specific person, because it's always like I always feel like I'm gonna forget somebody. So in reality, I think that I'm willing to face anyone, and every match creates a new opportunity to showcase myself and showcase a match that would be different from any other match, because everyone's different. Everyone works in a different kind of way. I think on a national level, there's thousands or hundreds of great wrestlers and people I would love to face that I've watched before, Bryan Danielson or CM Punk and stuff like that. But I think the thing that would be the coolest for me would be if I was able in some sort of way to face Private Party, because that was who I started wrestling with. So that would be a cool thing to do.
Who would be your partner in that one? Who would you pick as your partner to take them on?
Well, let's make it a handicap match.
Oh,
yeah. Or maybe it could be, I don't know. Keith Lee seems to enjoy facing Isaiah and throwing him. So
that's fair. Hashtag here for that one. I love that answer, man. You talk about, being different. You talk about putting on like matches that keep you interested, that keep the crowd interested. That's what I love about you. We got to talk about that match with Arcadia at the last Titan event, man. That was something special. You knew it would be going into that one. The amount of, I want to use the word like escapism or reversals in that match. Arcadia just going through the ropes. You finally, getting the victory at the end of that one. Shameless promo. I think it's up now on Mobify TV. Check it out. Dude, what a great match. What was it like working with him, and how'd you feel coming out of that one?
Well, Arcadia is like a hidden gem. And I hate to say that, because anybody that's in the area knows that already. Yeah. And he's kind of like a wrestler's wrestler. And that the wrestlers all know how great he is, and he kind of takes a limited kind of booking situation on his own, because he has plenty of responsibilities. But he's just such a great wrestler, and I relate to him more than any other wrestler when it comes to like his mindset. And I've wrestled him before in like a 3-match kind of best 2 out of 3 kind of situation. And this was the first time I've wrestled him in maybe 4 or 5 years, and he's just as good then as he is now. I think we have a lot more that we can do. I think that us facing that title was more like dipping the toes back into our feud. And I would love to continue wrestling him in any other kind of capacity, because he is truly one of those guys for me, that I can think of that he deserves a lot more, and maybe he will get a lot more, but I'd like to face him a lot more as well.
I love that, man. And again, great match. He's a great wrestler, but also a great mind for the business as well. So that's very cool to see. I hear a little barking over here. We're all about the pets. Tell us about the dog. Who's the doggy? What kind of dog you got? I love dogs, so you got to tell us about the dog.
Yeah, it's I have a dog with I have my own dog, and he's a husky, Siberian husky.
Oh,
baby.
Huskies are beautiful.
Yes. And I have a rescue with Valentina Lilo, and she's a pit bull terrier that we rescued a little over 2 years ago at this point.
Oh, that's adorable. I love dogs, man. When I was moving around a lot, I was just like, and going through some stuff, man. I'm like, man, I really want to rescue some poor soul, man. So I love that you guys. Oh, do we get it? Dude, my voice instantly gets higher. Oh my gosh, I love dogs so much, man. We're all about the pet cameos, so bring them in, please. Oh, that's amazing. I love to see that big smile on my face. I do want to talk about this, man. I said this to you off air, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the show. I feel like you're the next guy in Titan. The record speaks for itself. The promos have been stellar, and it's almost like you've been the on deck guy. Johnny's my guy. I won't lie. We're close. I feel like he's earned that spot. You were in there in that rumble with him at Mount Olympus. You guys were the last two. He obviously got the win, got the match with Monster Mac. The rest is history. He's the new title holder. You did defeat Monster Mac, I believe, at the next event. I wasn't at that one, but you're the guy. And I love the promos that you had when Mac was a champ. You're just saying like, hey, I've been here like pretty much since day one. I will say this on the record, you never seemingly get involved in the drama, which is something that I love about you. But also the record speaks for itself. You have won, I think, nearly all of your matches. And in my mind, we were calling your match the last show, and we brought up the term number one contender a lot. Am I saying you're going to dethrone Johnny? Johnny's my guy. Not necessarily. Would that be a heck of a match? Yeah, the real winner is the fans. But it's a matter of when for you, man. What's that momentum feel like for you in Titan right now?
Well, actually, I've literally been there since day one.
Yeah.
It was the first match.
That's right.
On the first show, it was me and Jay George, who's getting chairs thrown at him by Brock Lesnar nowadays. So yeah, I've been there since day one. I have lost a few matches, but I've been on this streak where I haven't lost a match in a very long time. And throughout, it's been 2 years now, I haven't received one single title shot at anything. Not, there's multiple titles in Titan. I haven't received one shot anywhere. So Johnny Moran is definitely someone I'm looking at right now just because I defeated Steve Mack, who was the former champion. He held that title for a year. So that's where my eyes are. And I'm not really sure why it is that I'm not being looked at for something like that when I have the wins and I have the reputation to uphold where I can face the champion. So I'm not really sure what's going on with Titan, but it's kind of been a thing my whole career when it comes to people trying to recognize me. And for me, I'm just going to continue to push forward until you're forced to recognize me. So this is nothing new for me. I'm going to keep, as long as I keep winning, they can't say anything. So
that's it, man. And coming from just a commentary perspective, it's difficult at times to hate on you, if you will, because you're so darn good in the ring. And the resume does speak for itself that we several times said like, hey, you know what? Like, wouldn't be surprised if he got a title shot. Now, would it be because we have a lot of these guys come on like the Thanos thing? They want to collect the belts. They're all about the gold collecting, which is great to represent a company. You've done it several times in your career. Is it to target, like you mentioned, Johnny earlier? Recon's right now got the middleweight title. The Frontline has the tag team titles. Is it to be the top title? Is it any gold opportunity like you mentioned earlier, or is it just the matches and having the eyes on you? Like, what's your mindset when you get your next match announced for the next event?
Well, like I said prior, like as far as tag team, I'm not really in the tag team. I don't think they allow the whole handicap thing. So, which I
you
would
want to take them both? Yeah,
I would win anyway. I wouldn't mind facing Rick Recon. I wouldn't mind facing any champion. But for me, the fact that I already beat Steve Mack and I was in the final two of that Rumble, right? I should get Johnny Moran. But I think maybe it's management. Maybe it's Johnny Moran. I mean, Johnny Moran is as clean cut as you get. He's clean shaven. He's got the hair. He's got every white baby face, white meat, all that that you can get. He's like the typical nice guy in wrestling, which is fine. But he's never faced someone like me. He's faced Steve Mack, who's can be a brutal wrestler. I don't think he really showed it when he faced Moran. I think he kind of, I held the title for a year, so I'm good. He kind of rested on those. But for me, when it comes to Johnny Moran, he's never faced someone like me. And I miss being as vicious as I used to be. And that's what I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to get back that hunger. And I want to face Moran, and I want to show him physically how it is to be a champion.
Wow. Very, very well said, man. I like the way your mind works. Guys, if you're listening, and we know you are, someone booked this match. Johnny's my guy, but there was something there when you two were left in that Rumble. There was something there, man. I think there could be a lot of magic. And like I always say here on the show, the real winners, the fans, man. Do want to talk about this, man. It's so cool to see everyone get that opportunity to get that AEW Dark on the resume, man. I was so happy when I saw you get announced. You get the graphic, man. I love the gear. First of all, was that like, I think you posted earlier, like it was like new gear or different gear, hashtag wrestling fashion. Tell us a little bit about the gear, man. You're always thought, even in the promo, the suit looked great.
Yeah. Well, my gear is made by someone named Tiffany. I think her like name is like Butch Diva or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, my gear was more of like, I like to experiment with things, and it's more like fighting, like boxing kind of gear with the pro wrestling spin with the kind of wet look on it. So that was kind of my gear with that. It was kind of also inspired by like Eddie Guerrero flames and stuff like that.
Oh, the flame. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as far as AEW, like it was an amazing experience.
Good. That's good to hear.
It was awesome to be there, awesome to experience that on such a high level. The locker room was great. The people there were great. It was a very easy time for me. Unfortunately, the match didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but you got to get your foot in the door, and it won't be the last time.
Oh, absolutely not, man. Let's be like I keep saying, you beat a lot of them guys already. So I do want to talk about this, man. We always try to get away from wrestling a little bit here on the BCP, man. Last time we had you on, we talked a lot about horror. I see a lot of that implemented in some of your promos and some of your style, but also we talked a little bit about Batman. Did you see the new trailer? What are your thoughts going in this one? I think IGN gave it a 10 out of 10, which is, I was like, I mean, a 10 out of 10? I don't know.
Well, I mean, at first, I was never against like Robert Pattinson being Batman, because I knew that he kind of did very more serious roles lately.
Yeah.
Kind of on the independent level, and I respect that. I mean, Twilight was like 12 years ago at this point. Like, we can get over it.
That's fair.
Some of the promos for television kind of worried me because it seemed more like a romantic drama with Catwoman, and I don't know if that was because Valentine's Day was going on, but I am very excited to see it. My Batman was always Batman the animated series. That's my Batman to me.
Kevin Conroy. That's right.
Yes, Kevin Conroy. And I know they're doing a new Batman show on HBO Max that's animated called the Cape Crusader, I believe, and it's kind of done by the same Matt Reeves, who's the director of this one. Bruce Timm's involved, so I have high hopes for that. But yeah, I'm very excited for it. I'm trying not to hype myself too much because it has very high scores right now. But hopefully, I'll get to see it this weekend.
Yeah, man. Let me know what you think after you see it. I can't wait to check it out. I'm a big Batman guy. I love that you said Kevin Conroy in the animated series. That show, ahead of its time. Brilliant. We were throwing it on the other day, man. There's some great I think they were having the card game and they were all telling their stories, the interaction with Batman.
Almost got them.
Look at you.
The episode. Yeah.
You know, the big twist at the end, man. Kevin Conroy is great. Who is your favorite movie Batman? I did not buy into Christian Bale, amazing actor. I will die on this hill alone, man. I was not into any of that. I'm the only one, man. I just did not. Christian Bale, brilliant actor. I did not buy into him as Batman. Didn't believe the character. Couldn't get into it. Everyone loves it, man. Who was your favorite? Was it Christian Bale?
It was for a long time, but it was because I think the like oversaturation of those films kind of like
That's fair.
Like contrarian in me kind of like turned against them. Like the movies are great still, but I'm not really a fan of his Batman or Bruce Wayne.
Right, exactly.
At this point, it was more, the Joker or like, Bane was an interesting version of Bane, even though
the word.
I would love to see, actual like Hispanic or Spanish Bane for once,
Right,
he is in the comics.
Exactly.
But
You get it.
yeah, for me, I think right now I would say live action would be Michael Keaton as Batman. Yeah.
That's my answer. And it's weird. Like, I feel like they never, like, for me, I love the 60s I'm aging myself, but I love the 60s Batman. I thought it was fun. Very different than everything else, not true to Batman. I think the animated series, like you said, is the most true to Batman, but I never felt like they, like, to me, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, like, no quite. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. Like, you can go on and on to Spider-Man. You can have a debate, but like with Batman, I feel like it was never like synonymous with anyone. Like you said, there were so many. So I have to go Keaton by default, man. That's just where I am, man.
Yeah.
But do you ever do any of the Arkham games? Any like the video gaming or anything like that?
Yeah.
So good.
I'm not a big gamer, but I did play those games. Yeah. I mean, they were just like adult versions of the animated series. Pretty much.
Good. So you know the deal. I didn't buy Arkham Origins, and the only reason I didn't buy it, that's the only one I didn't buy, is because Kevin Conroy did not do the voice of Batman in that one. Didn't buy it. So.
Well, I actually thought it was a pretty good game. So
really?
Maybe you might want to revisit that. I actually thought Arkham Knight was the worst of the three. The original three.
They were all good. Sometimes they get very Batmobile like reliant with the horses and stuff, but I loved all of them, man. What else? I always like to ask outside wrestling questions. What else besides, like, you obviously mentioned a little bit of the gaming, Batman stuff, like, do you play music? Do you do photography? Are you in? I feel like you would be like really good at some sort of like art or painting or anything like that. Outside of wrestling, man, is there any other creative endeavors that you have or something interesting that we want to know about you?
No, as far as like actual art, I'm not very good at drawing. I wish I was. It's a aspect that people have that I am very envious of. I think writing would be the thing. Yeah, I just kind of write on my own when it comes to that. But
like screenplays or stories or poetry or music or
it'd be like stories and screenplays and stuff like that. Yeah, comics. Like nice. I can write them. I can't ink them or draw them or anything like that. Yeah.
That's very cool, man. I love it. I love that, man. I do want to ask you this one. I ask everyone who comes on now that I'm still getting my start in the business. It's been about a year with the behind the curtain stuff. Still learning on commentary, man. I very much hold you in high regard, and I count your opinion very highly in this one, man. So hit me with it, the good, the bad, the ugly. What advice would you have for someone like me up and coming on commentary right now?
I think the only thing that I would say is that, keep that energy. If you're excited, the person that's watching would be excited, and always be respectful to the fans. I know there's like different ways of doing commentary nowadays, but for me, and I think universally, if you respect the wrestlers in the ring, then everyone's better for it.
Yeah, very well said. And I appreciate that, man. I do want to be respectful of your time, man, but I always got to ask this one before we get out of here, man. And thank you again for making the time. It's good to have you back on and get to know you a little bit better. Cliche, but we always ask this one before we get out of here. You've done so much in this business, man. Gold everywhere you go. You've had the opportunities. We asked you this last time. We'll ask you again, man, because we've heard all the answers. Some people want to open a school, just want to travel the world, get the opportunities. You've been in that AEW locker room. Like I said, you beat a lot of those guys, man. What are the goals for Anthony Gangone moving forward?
I guess for me, it would be, just continue to go out there and prove myself regardless of any obstacle in my way. Continue to be an honest actor when it comes to life. Continue to keep the people close to me happy and be the best person that I can be, for no agenda at all, but just to be a good person.
I love that answer. And it's a perfect place to end it. But I do got to ask you this one time, because I did have it on the sheet here. Totally swerving here. That was a great way to end it. But you're really good in those promos, man. You're great in the ring. Did you ever think about doing like the acting or the voice acting? Have you ever done anything like that?
I actually haven't. I directed one commercial one time.
No way.
It was for like merchandise and stuff, but it was a lot of fun, and like a lot of people were kind of impressed by it. which, you know, I had no budget or anything. Just me and my Adobe Premiere, I guess. But
awesome.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would be great at voice acting. Like doing a podcast, I used to do a podcast. I don't do it now because I'm trying to focus more on wrestling.
Sure.
But I used to do a podcast. I was never happy with it just because I feel like there has to be much more of a show to it than just two guys kind of just talking.
As I'm
and
learning,
you have to have a specific voice for it, I think, as well. But I mean, I'm not against acting. But I would also think that maybe when wrestling's over, like being choreographer for stunt work would be something that I would look into.
That makes so much sense on all the levels, man. I love that, man. But dude, like you talked about this earlier, man. You know, we want to talk about you being very different. You obviously, in my mind, stealing the show everywhere you go, man. But we've got to talk about this. We are all about the shameless promo here on the BCP Telephone, where they can get the merch, the 8x10s, the follows on social media, all that good stuff.
I'm not great at this stuff. So on Twitter, it's at Anthony Gangone. I think on Instagram it's at Anthony Gangone _ I have a pro wrestling tee store. Hopefully I'll get new merch within the next couple months. So look out for that. I'm also on Facebook under Anthony Gangone. And yeah, I guess that's it, right?
You have 8x10s?
Not currently, no.
Okay, I was gonna say we do. I'm looking over here. We do not have Gangone on here, so we need to change that, man. I'll definitely pick one up.
Well,
next
I gotta get you one.
Oh man, I got you. No, we support it, dude. Thank you so much, man. We support everyone that comes on, dude. Thank you for making the time, man. You're killing it. I'm gonna say it again. I think he's the next guy at Titan. You know, Johnny's my guy, but I'm just saying down the line, we'll see what happens. Mr. Gangone, stay safe out there. Continue success moving forward. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. And remember, the show is March 5th. At the Boys and Girls Club in New Jersey. Go check out the project this Saturday.
What a pro. Shameless promo, Union, New Jersey. I love it. And guys, like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace.